here introduce themselves and talk to you about exactly what they did with the film for Raspberry Jam. And so we'll get started. Courtney.
Hello, everyone. I'm Courtney Ware, and I directed this little gem, I guess. So.
I'm Andrew Sensenig. Yeah, just play one of the guys.
My name's Frank Mosley. I also play one of the guys with this guy.
So how did this whole process come about on making this film?
The writer Mike Madden and I, we actually are partnering in another project called Sunny in the Dark that I'm developing right now and trying to find funding for. And Mike sent me Raspberry Jam on something completely unrelated and actually for something that I was possibly going to produce. And this was probably like a year and a half ago. And I read the script and loved it and then like sat on it. And back in, I guess October or so, well we shot it in October, so maybe a month before that, I said, you know what, we're going to shoot this. And so called these guys up and then we ended up shooting it, so it was kind of fun because it came out sort of unsuspiciously, if you will. So.
Did you audition these guys, or did you already know who you were going to use?
I knew who I was going to use. We've worked together on numerous things in the past, and so I called up Andy and I said, I have this perfect part for you. And then I called up Frank and said, I have a perfect part for you. Which I owe him greatly for. But yeah, and so they were perfect. The one thing that I did ask Frank, though, before we officially cast him, is if he could do an Irish accent. And so he said yes, and we went to a Starbucks, and he ended up in the corner of the Starbucks, real soft, reading me the lines in an Irish accent. I was like, all right, we're good. But yeah. The only part that we auditioned was Nikki Hurd, who played Thelma, the nurse. So she was the only part out of everything that we auditioned, and the rest were friends and family. So that we've all worked together. So it was great. It was a great experience.
How long did you shoot it?
It was 3 days. Technically 2.5. But 3 days, yeah. So.
Where did you shoot it?
Oddly enough, we shot all of the stuff with Andrew in the convalescent home in an old Baptist church. I knew that we wouldn't be able to find the look that we were looking for in any actual homes because thankfully most of them look a whole lot better than that. And we had a connection, my production designer had a connection with this church over in Irving. And this was like the upstairs corner of their building, and we walked in and I saw stains on the ceiling and I said, yes, we have to do this. So oddly enough though, the day we shot there for 2 days, and during the night between our 2 days they painted the ceilings, which I thought was so strange that they would do that in the middle of us shooting, but thankfully we had sort of already established it, so. But yeah, so it was in an old Baptist church, and we shot the rest of the stuff out in this beautiful park in Coppell, Texas. So it had the stonework that we saw and that iconic tree, and so we decided to go for it. So.
How hard was it to play a character where you didn't really have to do a lot, just
you know? See, you could do it. I don't know.
You want to talk about how we got to that smile?
That took some work. We spent a couple hours one day before shooting in front of a mirror in a bathroom. She'd keep, okay, now try this. Then we'd find a spot that Courtney liked, but we'd have to figure out a way to know how to keep doing that over and over and over and over. So, fortunately, it worked out.
Yeah. Great.
But it wasn't too tough. Actually, the character seemed to have some, even though it doesn't look like it, he did have some depth. So you just put your mind in that particular spot.
And I thought it was great how even in his frozen face, he was able to bring out some subtleties in some different things. So
He's a great actor.
yes, he is. That's how I knew he could do it.
Well, there were some long sequences where, don't blink, don't blink. Courtney would keep, okay, let's, don't, what's gonna, we're gonna shoot, it's gonna be about 4 minutes. You know,
What does that mean? Was it?
She come in, you got it, because we're coming in close. We're not gonna do anything. You just, and it's like, I'm doing everything. And then they have you staring into a light.
Oh yeah. That
You know, it's supposed to be the sun coming in the window, and you're staring at it.
That was sort of mean. I'm sorry.
I'm doing the best I can, Courtney.
It was great.
But the muscles of your face had to have hurt after some of those shoots, after some of those takes.
I don't.
You want to tell them the secret
Tell them the secret?
of what we stuffed in your mouth?
Oh, well, to help with keeping part of the lip moving, things we went through pockets and pockets and pockets of dental, you know, like the dentists, they stick cotton in here or here. So that did help, but they would get pretty wet pretty quickly.
I let him handle that.
I know at the end of the day, each wardrobe would look in my row pockets and be filled up. One was supposed to be the dry, the other was the wet. Yeah. Yes, the wardrobe.
Speaking of wardrobe, how did you guys decide on what he was going to wear as the leprechaun?
She
Yeah.
just went through my closet that one day, and we
Found those
decided that was
pants.
everything that we needed. No.
Our wardrobe designer Andy Day, we had a lot of conversations about how I sort of wanted the leprechaun to be more of a, I guess, urban leprechaun, if you will. And we didn't want to do like the green overalls and go Lucky Charms, so we decided to pull back from Lucky Charms. But she walked in and showed me these pants, and those were my favorite. And so she pulled up these pants, and she just went thrifting, really. And we pulled together things, and we tried a couple of shirts and the hat and everything. So we wanted it to be sort of subtle, but still very obvious that he was in fact a leprechaun. So, but yeah, we tried really hard to stay away from Lucky Charms.
You could have pulled it off, Frank.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate the faith.
You're a great actor. You really are. I mean, all kidding aside, you are a good actor.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
You
I
could
appreciate
have pulled it off. I don't think you would have enjoyed it, but you could have pulled it off.
I would have done anything for Courtney Ware.
Aw.
You can put that down in print. So,
Wow.
if she would have wanted this leprechaun to fly, I would have taken a dive off of that hospital building.
I care about you too much to make that happen. So.
It's a sequel.
Are you sick of eating jam though, Andrew?
No, we didn't have to eat too much.
That's true. It was only the
One day.
yeah.
And
Although Emma didn't like